Yo, what is going on, guys? Today we're gonna be reacting to a different type of video that I haven't really normally done on my channel. These are videos I usually just kind of watch on my own, and yeah, I just kind of watch them on my own and enjoy them. But I figured, the Taliban just took over Afghanistan. Maybe some of y'all people, some of y'all niggas might be interested in whatever the fuck's going on over there. So I figured we could watch this shit together. Usually I like these documentaries or whatever these things are. I usually think they're pretty dope. So
Tonight, panic, chaos, a staggering collapse. The Taliban have taken Afghanistan. Ben Solomon was in Kandahar just before that city was seized.
also, before we get into this is 22 minutes. So um this is gonna be two parts. I know I said I do two parts a lot. I'm gonna do two parts, and I usually don't do the second part. I just do another video. But if y'all really do fuck with these type of videos, I will do a part two to this because I really do. Like I said, I really do fuck with these type of videos. Like these are shits I watch on my own type shit. Um, I mean, so are the other ones. But yeah, it's just some educational shit. So yeah, really run up the likes if y'all fuck with this, so I can make sure to get a part two.
Riding with Afghan forces in full retreat. Ben is here to talk about how the country's fall happened in just weeks. Plus, Hind Hassan saw firsthand what could lie in Afghanistan's future when she and her team snuck themselves into Taliban-controlled territory earlier this year. Tonight, what she learned on the ground.
That's crazy.
And it's hard to dream up a worse failure of American foreign policy and intelligence. 20 years, 4 presidents, trillions spent, and thousands of service members killed. Liz Landers reports on how the U.S. political machine is responding to the Taliban's takeover.
Good afternoon.
People with ADHD save 10 hours studying.
They better not
scrum
fucking
extensions.
flood
But
us
no,
with
by
ads,
all-
yo. We gonna skip this shit.
From behind and sold the country. In the U.S., President Biden blamed, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the Afghan military.
We gave them every chance to determine their own future. We could not provide them was the will to fight for that future.
But our own Ben Solomon was just in Afghanistan and says the failure to stop the Taliban had nothing to do with a lack of will. He joined me earlier today to talk about what he saw. Ben, thank you for joining us, and happy to see that you're back in the United States safely. I understand that you were in Kandahar in southern Afghanistan, that you were able to leave with the Afghan military as they were throwing down their weapons effectively on a cargo plane out of the city. What was that like?
So in the end, our experience in Kandahar was a problem because we got caught there. We got stranded. When we flew in on a commercial flight, the expectation was it'd take a few weeks, even when the fighting started to really get serious, we'd be able to kind of get out. What we didn't expect and we didn't foresee was that these soldiers would just so quickly give up the city. When it did happen, airlines all shut down flights. The UN evacuation flights also shut down. Everything was shutting down. And when that was happening, we started to kind of worry what we were going to do. By the end, we found ourselves with one of the most elite units in the country called the 03 unit. They are CIA trained, American funded. These guys spent 20 years becoming the go-to military force that America relies upon in their stead. The US never lets access to them, but in this case, it was so desperate that we just kind of found ourselves with them and protected with them. They were the ones preparing for what was going to be the last stand against the Taliban. They set up a front position right next to the airport, surrounded the area, kind of made a perimeter, and they said, this is it, we only have about 1,000 soldiers. The Taliban probably has a couple thousand, but we're going to fight all night. We're going to do everything we can. And we were getting ready for what was going to be one of the most harrowing, hairy nights of our lives. And just when the sun was about to go down, they announced that they had come to a truce. And the military commanders up top and the higher up military had decided to stand down, have their soldiers put down their weapons, give up all of their heavy gear, their Humvees, their artillery, all of their bigger weapons. They literally just left the cars running and went to the airfield, and the Taliban agreed to give uh, a truce and let these planes fly in and fly everyone out. So in the middle of the night, about 2 a.m., 6 carrier planes filled with just hundreds of military soldiers each. It was just a really intense scene of hundreds of people kind of packing in and trying to climb onto these. You see them now happening in Kabul, but then it's surprising to see these military units, basically like fighting for their lives to get out of there. And it was a really harrowing scene. Seeing in the distance, we could see the shots in the air of tracers, which were the Taliban shooting in the air and celebrating. And we could get the sense that, this was a bittersweet moment, because although they didn't have to fight, lose their lives, this was how the war was kind of faring for them, which is they were losing.
I think the story that people in Washington might be trying to tell is that the Afghan military forces had the resources they need, they just lacked the will to fight. From what you've seen and how it went down, what do you make of that?
I think it's an oversimplification. We spent a lot of time on the front line with the fighters in Kandahar, and they were exhausted. So they were outgunned, they were underfed, they were undersupplied, and they just were exhausted by it all. So this idea that they didn't have the gumption, they didn't have the ability or the will to get into the fight, it's not true, and it's disrespectful of these people that were really fighting. And when the dominoes started falling,
Yeah, I did not even really think of it like that. That's really fucked up to say that they just had no will. Especially when you're, I respected Biden. I think he did serve, but, he doesn't even actually know what they're doing over there. Fighting wise, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't know they're just fucking giving up, yeah, here, kill me, take my shit, you know what I'm saying? That's just not how it goes. And I almost guarantee that all of them would fucking fight to the death, right? I mean, no one wants to give their hands over to the Taliban, give us what? You know what I'm saying? That's just not how it works.
These people were all handing it over. The bigger reality is the soldiers that did want to fight didn't have the support. Thousands of Taliban guys compared to just a few hundred willing soldiers. It's not a fair fight.
I'm wondering what you're hearing about people on the ground.
Okay, now he's saying a few willing. Maybe there was a lot that weren't willing, but to me, it's easy for me to say this in my chair, not over there in Afghanistan where I'm outnumbered and shit. But personally, I do believe that if I was there, I would 100%, be willing to fight. Because, what else? That's what I would go into the military for, right? That's me, though. You know what I'm saying? As if I ever wanted to personally go into the military. You know what I'm saying?
You have been in contact with who might be trying to get out, who are fearful of what a Taliban regime might entail in the near and the future, and what's going on.
It's the biggest problem right now is that people that are trying to get out, it's not specific to people that work with the military or people that were interpreters. It's not just any one subset. It's everyone. Everyone in the country is looking for a way out, some way or another. I'm getting calls from high military officials asking if I know anybody that they can talk to.
They're calling you.
Calling me, asking if I have some contacts at some embassy or something that they don't know about. Getting calls from all of the people we worked with, looking for any way out. And there's really no answer. So now, we're living in this world where there's not a real thought going into what's going to happen with the Afghan people.
Well, thank you, Ben. Glad to see you're back safe, and there's so much more to talk about and to see from your reporting. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
In between breaths.
Kabul,
We
August
can hear
15th.
around gunfirings. There is no one on the road, in the streets. We can only hear a gun firing.
There were some armed men came to our block parking. They were screaming and shooting on the air. My family and my neighbor's family were screaming and crying for this.
As the Taliban advanced across Afghanistan, our reporters reached out to friends and contacts to find out how they were. These are the messages we got back.
Hello. Since last 2 weeks, especially last 3-4 days that we got information that Taliban will capture the capital, I lost myself.
We can't tell you their names because they're afraid for their lives, but we will keep bringing you their voices this week.
I don't have sleep. I cannot eat anything, and I am afraid of that. They will come to my home, kill me. Because I am a female activist, and now there will be no right for women. And I have a family. Yesterday, when I heard the Taliban entered to the Kabul, I just shocked. It was the hardest and the very worst condition that I have ever experienced. And I want that Americans know that our life is in danger.
Man, like that shit is sad, bro. Cause yeah, like she's right. Like she's even at more risk, and she's a female activist. And the the Taliban, they already don't fuck with women. They murder them and kill them and do like sex trafficking and shit. Like no, like they don't have any rights over there. Even though like I've read some, like they try to like make it seem like they're gonna give women rights, the Taliban and shit. Like, oh yes, the women in Islam, they're gonna have like I don't know if it's Islam. Like I'm not gonna say that, but it was something like that. And they're gonna have like the rights that like those women have, but it's like they don't have rights. So, yeah, it shit is just really, really, really sad. Um, and there was videos of people passing like little babies to like the front of like crowds. Like the babies are just being like to go on to, I don't know if it was a plane or if it was something to get them to America, because they didn't want to leave they didn't want to have their baby here with the Taliban, you know. And yeah, man, that shit is some of the most scary shit I've seen in a while. Like that shit is like, it's sad because I couldn't even imagine, like for them, like yeah, it's Afghanistan, but for them, like it was protected by the U.S. for a long, long time, where they didn't have to worry about any of this stuff, and then all of a sudden, when they think that the Taliban won't be coming for months, you know, and all of a sudden the Taliban takes over Afghanistan in 2-3 days. Millions, hundreds of thousands of women and millions of people are all left behind because where are they to go? You know what I'm saying? It's a fucked up situation because they can't, you know, how are we supposed to get everyone, how are we supposed to get every single person out of there, you know? That shit is fucked. But I think that's where we're going to end it off for at least part one of this one. I think it's a good part. We're like 10 minutes in. And then we could, we could watch the other part if y'all fucked with it. Yeah, make sure to like and comment, sub, do all that good shit. I appreciate it. And, yeah, guys, it's been a video. Later.